So the other half of this video is going to be me talking about 50-50 relationships. So if you just want to understand your zodiac read, then just stick around for that. But if you want to stick around for the whole thing, watch the whole thing. This is a reading for the last days in June 2024. So you Aquarius have the Eight of Wands, the Fool, and you have the World card right here. These two cards. So the Eight of Wands and the Fool card and the World represents you Aquarius choosing to love yourself. Some of you Aquarius may be deciding to stay single for a while, improve on yourself, deal with any kind of personal issues that you may not have even necessarily knew that you had, and overall raise your level of peace of mind, self-confidence, right? The more peace of mind you have is the more real self-confidence you have. And this is the same thing that you Aquarius are striving to gain. The Eight of Wands represents, when it comes to relationships for you now, this is very much so take it or leave it. You Aquarius can very much so decide where, when you're getting to know somebody, if the person is not acting like they have any kind of common sense, if their value systems are offline with you, a lot of you Aquarius will just leave these people alone. So the Fool and the World card now represents, and you don't really care about trying to appease other people, because for you Aquarius, it's not about a popularity contest. It's not. It's not about a popularity contest for some of you. And that's part of the reason why you decide that you don't want to be in the game in the first place. What's the point, right? So this is about your own self-discovery, regardless of whether or not you're getting to know somebody. And why that's very important is because a lot of you Aquarius may have made the mistake of thinking that you're upgrading yourself, you're doing better so that you can appease other people. Until you Aquarius found out how hard it was, even when you were doing things that where you became better overall, it made things harder for you to actually date. The quality of the people that you met, everybody wants to wear Louis Vuitton, you know? But just because everybody wants to wear Louis Vuitton does not mean that everyone can afford it. In other words, it's a popularity contest going on out here. The way that people date is based upon popularity contests. And whoever is the most popular gets the most choices, right? That's why everybody is fighting so hard to climb the socioeconomic ladder when they don't even know how. And then when they don't even want to learn the knowledge as to how they can do it. They just expect to be given something one day or inherit it, right? And if you didn't inherit riches, that somehow you're finished before you even get a chance. It's Mortal Kombat, you know, finish the person, right? And the truth is, most millionaires are actually created from their lifelong pursuit, as opposed to being born into it. So it's the same concept when it comes to dating. Everybody proclaims that they want love, but that's not actually how it really is in the first place. Most people actually don't really want love. They're just looking to satisfy hypergamy. They're looking to clout chase. They're looking to have an Instagram, microwavable, TikTok, Facebook relationship. They want to show everybody else who is not a part of the relationship how much fun they're having while they're in the relationship, right? That's what all the goofy pictures are about, right? Right? Because actually it's really the reverse. If you have somebody that's really worthwhile, it's probably your best choice to not actually post up so many pictures, especially with them, because misery loves company, and people will look to tear through and down the two of y'all's relationships, especially if it's something special. So a lot of you Aquarius are not going for that anymore. That's why it's important, Because the Page of Cups and the Seven of Wands represents, like I said, the delusion of grandeur. The delusion of grandeur. How others will look at you, Aquarius, like you are a come up, because they're trying to take advantage, and they have in the past. They've taken advantage of you, Aquarius's desire to want to save people. Remember, Aquarius represents the zodiac sign of the hero. Look, this is why in the age of Aquarius that we are in, you're seeing Marvel put out all of these superhero these superhero movies. DC, right? Detective Comics, superhero comic books, right? So why that's important in the first place is because this is the delusion of grandeur. People will take advantage of you, Aquarius, come into your life, take advantage of you based upon the fact that they see you wanting to be a superhero. And this is why, as I told y'all, I think in the last reading or so, right? In the last reading or the reading before the last one that I just posted up before this one, that you have to learn to get into your anti-hero arc, not your anti-villain. An anti-villain is a person who is truly a villain, but they have very idealistic and grandiose goals of saving the world, but they're actually the villain. When you really look at them in principle, they're actually the villain. An anti-hero is it's basically the opposite. It's with nuance, right? The anti-hero basically is the hero, but they have some selfish tendencies to them, but not so much selfish tendencies to the point where they get real crazy about it. They're looking to survive the situation. They're not the stereotypical hero of willing to be the crash test dummy, right? And this is what I mean when I say to you, Aquarius, it's time for you to step into your anti-hero, your own interpersonal anti-hero. That's what being balanced is about. The correct way, being the anti-hero. Because being a light magician, right? The people that you see a lot of the times who jump up on social media, they never show you contrast. They don't show you contrast. They don't show you darkness. All they show you is light. Then you come to find out some egregious stuff about them. They take advantage of people. They claim that they gave their money to charity when they're embezzling it and all this other type of stuff. The charity is theirs, but they just didn't tell you that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying all that to say that because you, Aquarius, know this, you have this knowledge, you're not being taken advantage of anymore. Because now you, Aquarius, have, again, Queen of Wands, you have tapped into your own inner self. You have realized that being a well-rounded person is about learning to come to terms and learning to gain a good moderation between your light side and your dark side. Yes, Aquarius, give and be charitable and bring people together, but also learn how to save something for yourself as well. And stop trying to save everybody. If a person does not have the ability to save themselves, if they legitimately do not want to pull themselves out of a lesser thought process to a higher quality thought process that brings in value, because when your thought process is better, you're supposed to do better because you know better now. That's Libra, right? That's why I say to y'all that Libra and Aquarius are what? 7 and 11. That's why the shop is called 7-11, right? Because 7 and 11, Libra, which is 7, Aquarius, which is 11, are interchangeable. You have Aquarius represents knowledge. Libra represents responsibility. So when you have the knowledge, you are responsible. Just like you are responsible for the knowledge that you gain. You are responsible for yourself, the knowledge that you, and the experiences that you gain. You understand what I'm saying? So why that's important is because you, Aquarius, are learning how to step into that anti-hero. It's not an arc. It's not short term. It's forever. It's not you're in the anti-hero arc, and then you're doing it for like 10 years, and then you decide, okay, you're going to go back. No, this is a lifelong change. You, Aquarius, understand that it's not even a good thing for you, Aquarius, in particular, to be giving so much of yourself and overly exhausting yourself. Your car is not even running on empty. Your car is just, how is it still running? Hopes and dreams. You're hoping that some of the delusional people that you have met would change their ways and do right by you, and it hasn't happened. So now it's time for you, Aquarius, like I said, to be in your anti-hero. Now you're coming to terms, right? The Queen of Wands can also be a queen of study, a queen of self-examination, thinking about how, and reflection, understanding oneself, that you, Aquarius, are not going to appease everyone. You're not going to make everyone like you as your deep down desires. And that the people who ultimately are for you are people who aren't so sensitive. You know what I mean? People who can understand that you're still a living being and won't exhaust you to see if they can do it, right? Take advantage of you, Aquarius, to see if it's possible. How much can I get out of this person? I'm going to try to see if I can get this person to give me 10 grand. Just out of the blue. And then you, Aquarius, okay, it's 10 grand. No. So the Hierophant represents, since you have been learning to do that, the Hierophant and the Judgment is, a lot of people have been calling you an a-hole. They've been giving you a hard time. Friends and family been noticing a serious change in y'all. Even the people that you date, they don't know you, right? They don't know you from beforehand, but they can tell that you're not going to allow them to take advantage of you because you're interacting with them and you're calling them out on their nonsense. And they don't like that. You know, they respect you for it to a certain extent, because they don't really respect anything or anyone. They don't respect themselves. If you get with them, they're goofies. They're short yellow. They're short yellow bus. They are on the short yellow bus. But the point that I'm trying to make here with that is, you, Aquarius, actually have a peace of mind. Y'all actually feel better being in your anti-hero, learning to balance out your own personal light and dark ratios, right? Are you more good than bad? Are you more bad than good? Okay, well, both of those things are relative. You just have to learn to mix a good amount between the two. We're not all good, we're not all bad. And the thing is that people make bank and take advantage of other people who listen to that rhetoric that we're either all light or you're just bad, you're just terrible. You know, the light. You know, these light workers, you know, these people who want to always talk about the light this and the light that and ashe this, and, you know, the fake bohemian people who don't seem to understand that life, this is what the Taekwondo sign, the yin yang sign, is about, because it's showing you that all of us, we have to learn to our truest selves is when we understand that we have good traits and we have bad traits, that what people consider good and bad to be, and how do we blend the two together, not separating the good from the bad. That's when you get separatism. That's when you get a fragmented mindset. This is where you get narcissism from. People that just want to be, oh, I'm only good, but only good. I'm only good. Yeah, but what about all the people that you done betrayed? No, that's not, that doesn't exist. Then you got a million people raising their hand. No, you betrayed me, yo. You betrayed me. You betrayed me. I don't know what you're talking about. Factually, you did betray me. That's not true. That's them light workers. And like I said before, there's more benefits. You are happier. I'm not saying this trying to force it on you. You are actually happier. You're seeing results. You have a lot more, you Aquarius are getting more in tune with yourself. Like for me, for instance, right? An example of this is like myself, because I'm using myself as an example. Again, I don't want to date somebody with children. And it's no disrespect to anybody who does. I just don't want to deal with somebody who has children. I've done that before. I didn't like it because I'm learning about how to date. So I've dated everything. Well, except for my own kind, but you know what I'm talking about. But I've dated almost everything. I've dated taller, bigger, uh, 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 light skin, dark skin, blue eyes, freckles, real dark skin, whatever, right? People with children, right? And I didn't like it because the children, let's face it, the children is a buffer. The children creates space that you didn't create when it comes to dating somebody. So the person will never actually really get a chance most times to really actually form the relationship because the children are the buffers. The children, depending on how many children a person has, I realized I have no place there because these are not my children, right? Right? Respectfully, these are not my children. And at the same time, I have no connection to this person. And the child is always going to fracture whatever kind of connection that I make. So that's my darkness. That's something that I had to accept about myself, that I don't like it. If you try to put me in a relationship with a person who is a single mom, if I'm being transparent, I'm not going to pay romantic attention to the single mom. I'm not. So why would I? You dig what I'm saying? So that's saved me a lot of time and a lot of trouble because of it. And then you have this Ace of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles. So this is about learning what you want, who you are, where you come from, what you've got going on. The Ace of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles is about you, Aquarius, learning that. And when you learn that, it makes it more clear, because part of the reason why it's so hard to date just in general, but more so specifically for you, Aquarius, is because you still don't know who you are. What's your last name? What does your last name mean? Have you done research on your family tree? If you haven't done these things, you don't know who you are, because that's all a part of the darkness. And what I mean when I say the darkness, I'm talking about in this element, this perspective, things that you don't even know about yourself, that if you start to learn about yourself, you would start to accept less nonsensical options that are not good for you. What I mean by that, what does your last name mean? What is your history? Were the people in your family rich traditionally or poor? And somewhere within the generations, y'all lost the money. Where did your family originate from? America? What part of America? What part of Africa? What part of Europe? What part of Asia? What part? Was it Antarctica? Because people can live in Antarctica. Don't let them fool you. They found pyramids. I ain't even gonna get into that. I ain't even gonna get that deep into it. But the point is that, until you find out more about yourself, i.e. getting in touch with that anti-hero, that darkness, that part of you that is hidden, for you to be able to know your culture. This is why it is that I get on here and I say, I've never had family members who were servants, if you know what I mean, in shackles. That grandma was born in 1915, could work all the freedoms that any quote unquote man could have. I don't always had the ability to work, always had the right, had the right to work, always had the right to travel. Literally, my great grandparents and stuff like this actually didn't even come from, wasn't even born in Trinidad. They was actually born in I think it was either Chile or Saint Bolivia, which is a traditionally a Spanish speaking, traditionally it's English now, but traditionally a Spanish speaking country. So you telling me that I got Spanish in my system? Yeah. But I'm Moreno, right? Yeah, because I know about myself. I've done the research. So when you get that good mixture between that light and that dark, who you've already known yourself to be versus all the things that you repress, suppress, don't know about yourself, then and you blend the two together, that's when you'll get a more well-rounded version of who you actually are. And what this has to do with dating is not only will you feel better about yourself, but again, the Eight of Wands, you'll accept a lot less nonsense. You'll be patient, but you'll see how other people are moving when they're trying to take advantage of you way before it happens. And because of it, the way you move will change how other people come at you, because you won't, and the reason why is because you won't go in the same areas that delusional people go looking for someone to take advantage of them. And if you happen to meet delusional people there, it's fine. You'll hang out by yourself before you'll hang out with someone who's willing to hang out with you only under the condition that you give something to them. So let's clarify the Ten of Pentacles. You have the Eight of Swords, Knight of Wands, Three of Swords, Five of Pentacles, and then you have the Three of Wands. So to clarify the Ten of Pentacles, the Eight of Swords, like I was talking about, and the Knight of Wands, you will be able to walk away from people when it serves you. When you see that it's a good idea to walk away, you'll walk away. The Three of Swords, Five of Pentacles, and the Three of Wands, and you won't feel bad about it. Because you, Aquarius, sometimes walk away from people and it will break your heart, knowing good and well that the way things ended and the way things have been as far as a relationship is concerned hasn't been a good relationship for a while. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video, and if you'd like to get a personal reading from me, there's a link in the comment section below called a Linktree link. Click on it. It will redirect you to a website where there's all the ways to get a personal reading from me. And so now this part of the video, I'm going to talk about 50-50 relationships, because a lot of people tend to act like they're confused about what relationships are. And I'm not knocking anybody, right? But one thing's for certain, we got to stop acting like when we start having real conversations that's actually going somewhere, that actually has direction and motion, that we constantly act like we don't understand what that is. We playing dumb. And what I mean by that is all relationships by definition are 50-50. There's no exception to that. All relationships are 50-50 because the ideology, and I'm breaking it down why, right? Because the idea that relationships are not is a parasitic one. If a person has the ideology that one person brings love, respect, appreciation, finances, romantic interest, and attention to detail and everything else that goes into a functional relationship, they're the one that gives the majority, the vast majority, compared to both people bringing that it means that one person is in a lower position taking advantage of a person that was supposed to understand that they are from a higher position, which means that that's not actually a relationship, because those types of relationships don't work out. If they were the natural positions and roles. You know how everybody likes talking about these roles, but I understand what the term role is. But if the natural role of these positions was supposed to be inequitable, listen to what I'm saying, not equal, in the sense that both me and a person who doesn't have my anatomy are equal. Equitable, meaning that we both have things that the other part or other significant other lack, that we make up for, making us equal due to the fact that we both have attributes and traits that we both are abundant in that the other one lacks, but we are getting together to raise our own value from learning what it is that we lack, what our weaknesses are as a couple. Then it means that, like I said before, that's not the type of relationship that nature intended. Why? Because these types of relationships where one person is doing the vast majority of the work, they don't ever actually work out in the long haul. You see, like I said before, you see so many people getting divorced. Why? Because one side was doing so much while the other side was receiving it, but they did not appreciate it. So in order for that type of dynamic to happen, and this is why it is that I say that 50-50 relationships, all relationships without exception, start off or naturally 50-50, and they start off as 50-50, is because those types of relationships where one side is doing the vast majority of the work, there is conversation, which implies that there's a void. Both people, both sides want to be treated fairly and equitably, fairly, given and taking equitably or fairly within the relationship. The only reason why one side, such as myself, my side, the people who were born with, if you know what I mean, my anatomy or whatever the case may be or what have you, does it, is because we understand the long haul. If we don't do it, we not gonna get money. The other side predominantly has this delusion of grandeur, this ideology of this false ideological thought process that they have all this value that has not actually been shown. Why would anybody decide to give somebody and pay all this person's bills and all this other type of stuff and do all of this when the person provides so much value to one side, but then the other person provides so little value to the other side? Whoop-de-doo, you pack a Lunchable. This person is a grown adult. The fact that you were completely unwilling to even take this person into consideration, to even come to the conclusion that on your own, that a person who is your significant other, you're going to treat with such disdain and a lack of consideration for their overall well-being, means that that is a parasitic relationship. Why wouldn't I want my family to have the best things? Why wouldn't I want my mom to have the best things? Why wouldn't I want my sister to have the best things? Why wouldn't I want my family members to have the best things? I'm going to get my mom's hair done. I'm going to get my sister's nails done. Why? Are they obliging me to do those things? Absolutely not. I'm doing it because I love them. And this trying to obligate somebody while they're in a relationship with you to pay all the bills and do all that type of stuff. It's not a relationship based upon love, because people do nice things for the person that they're in a relationship with them without them having to keep score, because they love them. This is why it is that I keep saying love pays the bills. Factually, it does. All these delusional people running around acting like love don't pay the bills. Why would I pay the bill of somebody who I don't like? Why would I pay the bills with somebody who I don't feel appreciated by? I'm just as much as an enemy as any op or enemy or in a corner that I don't get along with, because their value system and my value system don't align. Why would I do that? Why would I give someone who I don't like my credit card? Why would I do that? Now, I'm not saying I have a credit card, because I don't. I'm saying it in a general sense. Why would I give them a credit card? Why would I give them my credit card to just go shopping? Would you give an enemy your credit card? No. You would only do something nice and considerate for somebody that you particularly have an affinity for, that you favor, that you like. A lot of times people are conflating, sometimes deliberately, the idea that because you're in a 50-50 relationship, 50-50 relationships are not natural, because it's this ideology of, well, what happens when one side does more for the other? The other side appreciates it. They're not counting. That's what makes it 50-50 in the first place, because they're not counting. The other side is going to find another way to make it up to the other person. Again, without it being transactional, without counting. It's the same notion. This is the reason why it is that one side is tired of the other side, because the notion that the delusion of grandeur that, no, I'm not going to get lucky on the first date. Okay, not going to get lucky on the first date. Cool. But you can't give me good conversation. You have nothing else to offer. But then you don't even want to pay your half of the bill. But then you have this delusional ideology of, well, I don't know you. But that goes, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I don't know you either. So what is this tax? What is this spiritual tax of, because I'm born with my anatomy, that I have to pay simply because I'm born with my anatomy, because I was born with an XY chromosome? What is that about? How is that 50-50? And then you, on top of that, you're going to chastise me, which is a dub in on itself. It lowers a person's value. It does. By pressing the issue and trying to apply pressure the incorrect way, by saying, well, if you don't pay for the date, I'm not going to go ahead and give you another date. But that's the con job. You never were planning on actually giving me a second date. I'm just a toy to you in the first place. That's the reason why you pressing it so hard for me, to where I have to feel obligated when factually I'm not obligated. I'm getting to know you. You don't know me, just like I don't know who you are. So what is the delusion of grandeur of, I need to oblige myself like I owe you something? This owe you ideology. I don't owe you anything. I don't even know who you are. See, the paying for the date is about equitability. It's about both sides showing it's about, pretend this is money. Pretend this is money. Paying for your half of the date, both people paying for their half of the date, is showing the other person, I am unselfish. I am equitable. I am fair in my approach. I'm able to actually show you that I am honest. I'm putting in sweat equity too. You're putting in your hard-earned money, just like I am putting in my hard-earned money. I want to send a message to the opposite person that not only am I fair and equitable, right? I'm fair in my mind, right? I'm fair. Not only am I just fair, right? But at the same time, I'm also matching you. I'm able to match you. You just don't feel like you're alone, stranded on an island by yourself, because I'm obligating you to do everything. So hearing people, that's why all relationships are 50-50, because the relationships that only work are 50-50. Why? I put in an effort, you put in an effort. I put in an effort, you put in an effort. If I feel unappreciated, that means I'm doing the majority of the work more often than not. But if I feel like I'm unappreciated, if I observe that I am unappreciated, it means that I need to re-examine myself, because I'm more than likely doing the vast majority of the work but I'm not even getting so much as a thank you for it. So the relationship is inequitable. This is the same reason why it is that celebrities like Beyonce and Jay-Z, they're in business together 50-50. Cardi B and Offset, they're in real estate together. They will buy houses. One side put up 50% of the asking price and the other side puts up the other 50-50. They run a real estate they won a real estate business together 50-50. They are both in business. They are showing each other using money, and the fact that they live together, relationship, baby, that they are in this thing ace boon coon 50-50. And like I said before, we got to get off this trying to act like we don't understand what 50-50 means and constantly trying to warp 50-50. Anybody who tries to act like they don't understand the art of reciprocity, it's a dub.